Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Wednesday the 5th of January. This is starting with Bitcoin here on the 4-hour chart. This is my bullish count here, and I know that you might think it's a little bit weird because we've had this spike down through here. But on the futures market, if I can just bring this up here, so that's BTC CME here for this. So wave one at the top here, we don't have the spike on the futures market because obviously the futures market don't trade over the weekend, and that's why I wouldn't hold a futures contract over the weekend on these. But yeah, it does present a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a B wave here, and 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 4 and 5. So we can have a low in here, but I'm not going to be too sort of fussed about this particular low here unless we see a rally that comes above the 5,000. And then we can look in, because we couldn't just have a rally here and then continue to the downside for this. So I would need to see a classic trading levels pattern sitting on the major trading level 5 here, the 50,000, 5 being the second strongest number in the market. And we're not really seeing any volume push into this market either at this stage. So I'm just going to go to the weekly chart here for a moment. Don't worry about the count here. Let's just go to the settings. I'll just make those bars a little bit more visible. It's kind of interesting on the weekly here, the stochastics are starting to load up here. You can see from the low here to the high here, we had this trend up through here, but it's only come really sort of just over halfway down from this point here, but yet the stochastics have pulled right down, sort of like a spring loading up here. So that's sort of one aspect, so that's a positive. The other thing that I really wanted to focus on more so was the volume here for this. So just let me also want to talk about this for a moment. For a trend to be a trend, you need increasing volume in that particular direction as such. So we can, let's just it's okay. So yeah, so it's like here we can see that the market's pushed up here, the price is going up but the volume's decreasing here, so that's divergence, isn't it? So if I was trading and I was moving up here and I was seeing a large number up here and I was seeing the divergence in the volume, I know you can see divergence in the indicators, but why go there when you can just go to the source? So for a trend to be a trend, you need increasing volume in that direction. So corrections are on lower volume. So this move down through here, we could also consider that being sort of corrective. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this volume bar here is quite a bit higher than the other ones here. It did try to rally, then it got sold off here. The bids were hit, and so a lot of that movement down here will be from sellers at that point. And all of these that have tried to rally here, like this bar moving up here, was on lower volume than the previous bar. Because when you're reading the volume, it's the relationship in the volume bars before the previous one as such. So this move down here was on lower volume and not increasing volume, so it's going down, so there's sort of divergence there in relationship to this volume bar. This one here tried to go up, but it was also on lower volume as well, so that's divergence. So you'll find corrections on lower volume. So all of these here, retesting here is on lower volume, so it's corrective. So you would expect it to move down. If we're going to see it move down from this point, we would need to see this bar here have increased volume over this one. So yeah, the trend to the downside, you could say, hasn't really started just yet in that. But yeah, I was looking at Glassnode as well, and they're saying that activity on the on-chain has stalled, but I can just see it here as well in that case, and I can see that it's corrective because it's on lower volume. So technically we should make new lows, but to confirm that, we'd need to push down and we would need to see increased volume there. So just be mindful of that scenario. So all of that said and done, the preferred count to the downside will be this one. Maybe I've got the right one here, because yesterday I showed a few different counts for all of this, and it's kind of good to have a look at all the possibilities, and then you can start sort of, eliminating them one by one, and that's really the right thing to do with Elliott in a way. So this is the preferred count, where we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming down here into this space here, exactly where it comes down to. We can do some fib targets and all the rest of it, but better off just counting the waves as they move. We do have from 4 here to 5 here. We could call that wave 1 here, and any rally we see here would be wave 2. Now in our bullish count, we would need to see support on top of the 50,000 to help us confirm that we're going up at that particular point. So there's a 50-50 bet that probably a bit more weight to the downside, but anyway, it is what it is, and that's what it is, and don't really need to dive in any further. I won't go to the intraday, but I will have a look at the miners and just see how they're doing, because they were, last time we looked at those, they were having a little bit of a bit of a low in place. So let me consider this here. So this is Riot. I just should get my chart in place there from in there. So this was quite interesting on the log scale, wasn't it? Before, when we looked at this, I think it was. Looking at this here as a simple A wave, B wave and C wave coming into these lows here. So let's just see if we get a nice push up from these lows. It's possible that it could come further to the downside, but I don't think so. I think we're sort of done and dusted here. I will check the volume next time for this. So we're getting close here on Riot. I'll just check on this one here. I am maybe, let me just have a little look through. I haven't looked at these for ages, so it's possible. Would need to be, that's 40 here. We definitely need to be on 40 before we can confirm anything of that nature. I haven't had time to sort of look at that, but it was Riot that sort of caught my eye the best in this move down through here. But once again, it's a little bit like Bitcoin. We still need to see it. Still needed to see it pop at that particular point. But normally there's a relationship between the length of wave C and the wave A here, so we could come down a little bit further. Don't worry about all of this stuff here for that. So we could come down a little bit further. I'll just see if I can look at this. I'm not very good at using this particular program. Let's go to the hourly first and check on this here. Well, that looks a bit better. So we can see this, like this is, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here for 1 and 2 here, and this would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sort of down for 5 here and 4 and 5. So we're close. I think we're closer than we look. I mean, we could, at worst, we could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, but yeah, we're close. I mean, this here is not in 5 waves, so it's in 3 waves, so we should make a low here. We should be looking for a bounce off this down here somewhere for this. So anyway, we'll keep a bit of an eye on it. We're not there yet for this. And I think this is all part of, this is 5 waves in that little move, and then we've got this extra on here. It's more like an A and a B and a C wave up here, and then another move down at that point to finish it off. Another move, I would imagine. So I'm thinking we'll get something like this here, and then we'll look at 5 waves here. Be something like that. Anyway, I was just looking for the lows there to see what they look like as well, to see if there was any sort of a glimmer of hope there, but not quite yet. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.